All right, rocket stove review plus a little thermal cooker innovation. What got me thinking about this? I watched a guy's video on the Kelly Kettle, and it did seem like an interesting concept, but the fact that it was a top feed, and then it basically the way it was designed as far as it didn't look that functional as far as cooking regular food on top. So I'm gonna just go over what my experience has been. I've had this BioLite for years, and I do like the BioLite technology. I just like the innovation that's been put into it as far as making electricity with wood heat. I think it's called the Peltier exchange. But as far as the top feed, I'd never really liked that. And I thought about getting the BioLite base camp, but it's kind of hard to come by, and it's also really expensive. And then I found this old rocket stove a buddy of mine made for me out of these cans, and this thing cooks like a mofo. I'm just the Black Beast. It cooks, and I'll get into how what I've cooked with this thermal cooker plus that. And you really want to get down to the cost. Okay, so a Hamidi corn can or any sort of large can like that. That was a 4 inch, what do you call it, juice can, vegetable juice can. So make some Bloody Marys, and a 3 inch can. And if you're really good with the snips, you can do it that way. But honestly, I think you could probably get away with just putting the whole thing in a clamp, like a vise, and then wear the proper protective gear, drill a hole, and then just use a hole saw, which just looks way fucking easier. And when you get down to the cooking, I mean, I boil water ridiculously fast with this thing. What off like a bundle of sticks. I remember I cooked one day. Made my coffee, and cooked my food with just some quick ramen off of less than a handful of sticks and one and a half country songs. So as far as speed, it's great. Now coming over to the thermal cooker. So basically, this unit works as the insulated unit, and inside you got a metal stainless steel pot, and then it's got a top pot up there. I took two of those crock pots full of soaked beans, and then I put in a bunch of potatoes that I was wanting to see if I could bake, and then put in some hard boiled eggs. So they weren't hard boiled, but they were going to be. And at the bottom, that's what that was. And then at the top, I did some smoky chicken rice, perfectly spiced. Now, once I got it to a boil after about, I'd say 3 to 5 minutes, then I put the chicken rice on top, and basically I boiled it all for like 10 to 15 minutes. Then I put it inside there. Now, pro trick here with this is that before you actually are going to do anything, boil just a little bit of water and put the hot pan in there so it heats up the inside of the metal first. Then take out, right before you're going to use it, take out the metal pans, and that way it still stays hot. Close the lid so it stays hot in there. And then when you get done boiling and cooking your food, immediately put it in there, but take this a step further. Go get yourself one of those, what do you call it, emergency blankets. The ones that look like aluminum foil. And get yourself a cooler. And then inside, put a towel on the bottom of the cooler, like a washcloth that's completely dry. And then wrap the whole apparatus up in the emergency blanket. Then wrap all of that inside there in a couple more towels so it's really well insulated. Then close the lid on that cooler. And I came back 10 hours later and everything inside was well cooked and boiling hot. So, off of two bundles, like handfuls of sticks, I cooked more than enough food. So when I look at some of these high priced rocket stoves, and I see how some people are doing things, I'm like, look, how much of this is just for fashion and show? And I like the innovation, don't get me wrong. But this plus this equals a whole lot of food. Now, let's say you're off grid. You're doing the van life thing. You got a solar power system, and you got one of those deals. You got a freezer and a cooler combined, and it's like you got the IceCo 60 liter runs off I think 15 watts off the economy mode. Dude, seriously, you can cook enough food in just one sitting for a few days just off of, a couple bundles of sticks. It's got to be one of the best things. Forget the off grid thing for a second. If you're at home, you can do the same thing. And basically, it'd be great. And personally, what I want to do eventually is build two more of these, maybe three, and then do like one of those Camp Chef setups where I've got the Camp Chef grill, Camp Chef griddle, and then I'll have the big boiler over there on the side. Just do the triple burner. Like, you run that off of wood? Hell yeah, I do. And then when they get a little full of biochar, just take the biochar out, douse it out in a bucket of water, and then I got good biochar for the garden. So yeah, I really think this is a kick-ass way to cook a lot of food really easily. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to see more stuff like what happened with the BioLite. But let's be honest, with the solar systems we got now, making electricity has become a lot easier off grid. Anyhow, this is my thoughts. Y'all have a great day and enjoy your camping and cooking and whatnot.